Welcome to Mindful Makerspace Challenge. My name is Mrs. Nance, and today I want you to focus on the thoughts of your brain. You know, your brain is working all the time. It never quits. It thinks about things that have happened in the past, things that might happen in the future. It thinks about conversations that you've had. It even makes up conversations that you've never had. So breathing helps our brain pause and just focuses on the breath. So let's take our 2 mindful breaths today. Remember, pick your favorite flower. Today, I'm going to pick the sunflower. I planted 2 sunflowers the other day in my garden, and that's what I'm thinking about. Okay, sit up nice and straight. Let's take our 2 breaths. Breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in. Breathe out. Now that you've had your breath, you can control that brain of yours and say, now that I've paused, I want to think and reflect about something that I really love in my past. Or I want to think about something really fun that I think might happen in my future. Or that you are paused and ready and now focused for your activity right now.
Rain is a type of precipitation. Precipitation could include drizzle, rain, sleet, snow, and hail. We need rain for fresh water for our climate. Measuring rain is what we're going to be doing. We're going to create a rain gauge. There are all types of rain gauges out there. Plastic rain gauges that go into the ground, even digital rain gauges. Why do we need to gauge the rain? Why do we need to measure the rain? Farmers and gardeners need to know average rainfall data when they plan for their crops. For this activity, we'll be building an outside rain gauge. Now there are 3 types we'll build. One will be a bucket. The only materials you'll need is a bucket, a marker, and a yardstick. We'll work with a water bottle. You'll need tape, a ruler, a permanent marker, a stake, and some tape. And we have a glass vase. You'll need a marker, a ruler, and a funnel if you want. We'll start out with the glass rain gauge. A light glass because it's nice and heavy and it's not going to blow over with the wind. I purchased this. This is just a vase. It was about $3. You'll also need a ruler. You can have a funnel if you want, and you'll need tape to go with it, but you'll definitely need either a permanent marker or a paint pen. An important feature of the glass, it's really flat at the bottom. You want that. It will help measure accuracy of the rainfall. Take your ruler, you're going to place it inside of your container, and we're going to be dealing with 1/2 inches and inches only. So this is a full inch, 1/2 of a full inch is a 1/2 inch. Here's 1 inch and here's 2 inch. Notice the red mark is the 1/2. So with our marker, we're going to mark 1/2 inches up to about however much you want. You can go all the way to 9 if you want. I'll go ahead and start. I place the ruler inside because you have this part of your vase here and you don't want to count that for your rainfall. Just mark every 1/2 inch with your permanent marker or your paint pen. I've indicated every 1/2 mark to 9, and I went ahead and put if it was a 1/2 inch, if it was 4 inch, if it was 5.5 inches, so it'll be really easy for me to read. Now you can either use this as is. Even if you didn't want to mark it, you could set this outside, and when the water fell, you could always just put your ruler in and read where it hits the ruler. But I think it's fun being able to read outside of your rain gauge. If you want to, you can add a funnel onto the top. You're just going to tape it on. My glass rain gauge is ready. I can set it outside and I can start measuring my rainfall. Make sure you place it in an open area, not beside trees or a roof or your house. Why? Why do you think we need to put it in an open area and not beside something? For our next rain gauge, you'll need a 5-gallon bucket, a yardstick, and a permanent marker or a paint pen. Now this bucket I purchased at Tractor Supply. It was about $5. Place your yardstick inside the bucket at the very bottom of the bucket, and with your marker, mark every 1/2 inch inside your bucket. Marking the bucket wasn't as easy as one might think. I had to put a flashlight in to help me see my numbers. I didn't mark my half with numbers, but I do have all half marks marked with a line. But if it's above the 9, between the 9 and the 10, I'll know it's 9.5. Now you've finished your 5-gallon rain gauge. You can either measure using the marks you've made inside, or when it rains, you can put a yardstick inside of your bucket to measure. Make sure the 1 is always down, the 1 inch. Also, remember to place your rain gauge in an open area, never beside a roof overhang, a house, or a tree. I wonder why. This is our last rain gauge, made with a plastic bottle with a really flat bottom. You'll need tape, string, a ruler, a permanent marker or a paint pen marker, a utility knife, and a stake that's about 2 feet long. The first thing we need to do is cut off the top of our bottle. I would put tape all the way around so you have a nice straight edge to work with, and then we're going to use the utility knife to cut it off. The tape gives me a nice edge to work with. If I started cutting without an edge to look at, I may not have a very straight line. With the utility knife, we will cut along the edge of the tape to take the top of our bottle off. You'll take the top off, we won't need that, but we will be using this top part as a funnel. We will turn it over and we will be inserting it inside of our bottle. That will help the water catch into our rain gauge. But first, we need to maybe take this label off so we can see through it better. Next, we're going to mark every 1/2 inch on our bottle. Remember, we're going to place our ruler inside. And notice again, the bottle I chose has a really flat bottom. I'm going to press the ruler up, and with my Sharpie or paint pen, I'm going to mark every 1/2 inch all the way up my bottle. I've marked every 1/2 inch to 6 inches, indicated by marks, and I've written the numbers. It's now time to take the top part of our bottle, turn it into a funnel, and insert it into our bottle. If you want to, you can add tape where they meet. My funnel is taped in. My water gauge is marked. Now, why do I need a stake and some string? Well, the plastic bottle is really light, and if it's a tough storm, this rain gauge is going to fall over. So we have to figure out a way to keep the rain gauge up to catch water. One way you can do this is you can dig some into the yard and place this in a hole it will still catch the rain. You can still measure your rainfall. But I'm going to place this stake into the ground about 1 foot. And I'm going to place this string around my bottle and then leave it so I can tie it to the stake each time. And when I measure or I need to dump the water, I just untie and then tie it back when I'm ready to measure. I have tied my string around my rain gauge. Once I place the stake into the ground about 1 foot, I'll place the gauge right beside it sitting on the ground, but I will tie it to the stake so it doesn't fall. I will take a picture of the rain gauge in the ground. Once you've created your favorite rain gauge, either the glass, the 5-gallon bucket, or the plastic bottle, I want you to track 1 month of rainfall. You'll put your name, the beginning date of the month, and the end date of the month. And then you're going to look at your rain gauge every day. On Monday, week 1, you'll put your number here. Let's say it didn't rain at all. Let's say on Tuesday, it rained 1 inch. On Wednesday, 1/2 inch. On Thursday, it didn't rain. On Friday, it didn't rain. And on Saturday, it rained 1 inch. And on Sunday, it rained 1/2. Then you add your total. 1 plus 1 is 2. 1/2 plus 1/2 is 1. So 2 plus 1 is, we had 3 inches of rain for week 1. This is just a sample. Before you put your data in, I want you to predict how much rain, the total rain, you will have that month. Then take your data every day for 4 weeks. You add it across, and then you add here. After you track 1 month of rainfall, I want you to graph your rainfall for the entire month. So we said in week 1, in our pretend, we said it rained 3 inches. So we would make a bar graph, color in from 3 inches down for week 1. You would do the same thing with week 2, week 3, and week 4 with those totals. Next, I want you to draw a picture with you of what your rainfall looked like. Were you always with an umbrella or not? I want to know what that month looked like for you. Your findings. You can watch the news or look up reported rainfall data in the newspaper or online. How does your data compare to the rainfall that was reported in your area? Let me know. Do you think you were more accurate? Also, what do you conclude about the amount of rainfall you received for the area you live in and for the month in which you gathered your data? I'm so curious. I cannot wait to see your data. I would love to see pictures of your rain gauges. Did you figure out why we always place a rain gauge in an open area and not beside a house or a roof or a tree? What if I put the rain gauge beside a roof? What do you think would happen? Do you think you would have accurate data? Why or why not? Be sure to put your rain gauge in an open area. Happy learning!